All right, if you've ever tried to learn C++, you've definitely seen this, a block of code that looks totally cryptic, right? Well, today we're cracking that code. We're going to break down the first program almost everyone writes piece by piece. And there it is, the legendary Hello World program. I know. Right now, it probably looks like a foreign language. But trust me, in just a couple of minutes, every single part of this is going to click. I promise. Okay, so when you have a bunch of code, where does the computer even start? I mean, it needs a starting line, right? Think of it like a car. You need an engine to get things going. In C++, that engine, that starting point, is called the main function. So let's zero in on this part right here. Int main function. The best way to think about this, it's the front door to your program's house. When you hit run, the computer walks right up to this door. It doesn't look anywhere else first. This is the mandatory starting point, no exceptions. And that's a rule that is set in stone. It never, ever changes. You could have a program with thousands, even millions of lines of code, but guess what? The computer's journey always starts and ends right here, inside main. It's basically the command center for the whole operation. All right, so we've got our engine, our main function, but an engine by itself just sits there, right? To actually do something cool, like, say, print text on the screen, our program needs some tools. It's like going into a workshop. You got to grab your tools off the wall before you can start building. And this line, #include IOStream, is exactly that. We're literally telling our program, hey, before you do anything else, go grab the toolbox called IOStream. And inside that specific toolbox, all the goodies we need for handling input and, crucially for us right now, outputting stuff to the screen. You know, the fancy word for this is a directive, and that's a good name for it, because it's not a suggestion, it's a direct order. We're commanding the compiler, which is the thing that builds our code, to literally copy and paste all the code from that library right into our program. It's an amazing shortcut that gives us a ton of power without having to write everything ourselves. So why IOStream specifically? Well, it's short for input-output stream. And the so what for us is that it has the one specific tool we need to get our Hello World message on the screen. And that tool's name is cout. Just think of it as cout, or character output. Okay, let's recap. We've grabbed our toolbox, we've started our engine, so what's next? It's time to actually do something. Let's give the computer its first command. And this line right here, this is the star of the show. This is the command that does all the heavy lifting. We're saying use the cout tool, which, by the way, lives in the standard or std library, and then use these little arrows to push the text Hello World out to the screen. Yep, this is where the magic happens. And all those weird symbols have a job to do. Think of the curly braces like a container or a fence. Everything that happens inside main has to live inside them. Those two less than signs, less than, they're basically arrows pointing the way, saying, send this text to the screen. And that little semicolon at the end, it's just like a period in an English sentence. It tells the computer, okay, that instruction is over, move on to the next one. All right, just one last line to decode, return 0. What's that all about? Well, this is basically our program politely telling the operating system, hey, I'm all done here, and everything went off without a hitch. That 0 is the secret code for success. It's like raising a little flag that says mission accomplished right before the program closes. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. All these little pieces we just talked about, the include, the main, the braces, the semicolon, they're not just a random collection of rules. They fit together to form a blueprint, a logical, reusable blueprint that's the foundation for pretty much every C++ program you'll ever see. So let's look at that code one more time. It's not so scary now, is it? It's actually pretty logical. We include our toolbox, we start the engine with main, we give our one command to send text to the screen, and then we signal that we're done. See? It's a clear step-by-step process. And that is the fundamental pattern. This is your C++ starter kit, right here. It doesn't matter if your program is 5 lines long or 50,000 lines long, it's almost always going to follow this basic structure. You include your tools, you start in main, you put your commands inside the container, you finish each one with a semicolon, and you report back that everything went well. That's the blueprint. So here's the bottom line. You've just learned the fundamental blueprint of every C++ program. You've officially cracked the code. So now that you have this foundation, the only real question is, what are you going to build first?